There's nothing written in stone that says you really got to suffer before you really emotionally open up. Before you say to yourself, gee, I don't have the answer here. And guess what? Doesn't seem like anybody else has my answer either. And I can either contract and get really upset about that, or I can go, wow, nobody has my answer. But I still want to know. I still want to know. And that can lead to a sort of surrender and openness. If you've done that, as I'm sure some of you have, if you've done that several times, unfortunately for most people, maybe, 50 to 100 times, then you might start to trust it. It'd be nice if you could trust it after the first or second time, but, most people have such an inherent distrust of life and themselves and everything else that it takes a lot of reinforcement, like it's okay just to open up, you see. But once you've done it a few times, however it's come about, you get a little more faith in it. You get a little more trust in yourself. Not that logical computer that's going on in your noggin upstairs. I mean, that's useful too. But not just trust in that, because that often doesn't have the answers to your most important questions. It may have the answers to how to build a faster computer chip, but it may not have the answers of how to solve whatever your existential inner dilemma is of that moment. So it's opening to something beyond that. That there is an intelligence beyond simply the sort of reasoning of our logical brain, as useful as that is, as necessary as it is. It's useful to be able to reason well. It's too bad so many people can't, but it's really useful if you can even reason well, logically. But this is, even if you can do that, this is something opening to something else, right? A bigger, some other wisdom. And I don't even mean, I'm not talking metaphysics or mystical hocus pocus stuff. You can package what I'm saying in any way that you want. You can think about it spiritually, you can think about it mystically, you could even just think about it just in terms of the little brain in your head, that it has many more capacities than just the capacity for logical, sequential, and deductive reasoning. That the thing can actually function holistically. So you can anytime, any way you want to put this together and understand it, it's fine with me. It doesn't matter. Actually, our whole body has a way of holistically accessing wisdom, because wisdom belongs from everything from your head to your toes and everything in between. That's where your deepest wisdom lies. That's where your moments of intuitive understanding come from. They come from your whole being, your whole body, mind. So it takes the capacity to, in your own way, really want to know what's true. To have something in addition to simply wanting to feel better. Really wanting to know what's true in that curious and open way. Knowing that you don't know what's true in a given moment. Knowing that you don't know. Knowing that you don't have the answer to that moment, because if you had the answer, you wouldn't be asking the question. You see? So knowing that you don't have the answer immediately. If you have it, fine, but if you do, then you won't be asking the question. So knowing that you don't have it. And also having the patience and the capacity to listen. To really be still and listen. Just to listen. Sometimes people say, listen to what? Just listen. Forget about what. Just listen. Just open. Because it's hard, it's really quite almost impossible to have access to this kind of moving and living, in many ways, very practical truth. As long as we're grasping at it and trying to get it and trying to understand it and trying it, as long as we're kind of all tensed up about it. It's only when you realize that you don't know, that you don't have the ready-made answers in your mind that are going to be useful for you, that you don't know, that you're not sure which way to turn, that you open. That it's almost you become open-heartedly available. And then having the patience to listen, to wait, to let the moment clarify itself. Because that's really how it works. The moment clarifies itself. It wants to clarify itself. Life always seeks to become conscious of itself.